hope I caught that.
You can stay on.
It's a shame there's not a video today.
Right.
We're working on it. At some point there will be, and it's going to be something else. I think we're actually going to lose subscribers when we start adding video content.
Others. Right.
It's going to the audience is going to
Demographics
shift.
going to change.
Yeah. Are you into bears?
Now we're gonna have monopoly in the bear market.
Right.
I have to start selling feet pigs.
Oh, if you think I'm above that, you are wrong, sir.
Oh, I could make mad money off my feet. I already know it. How long my toes are? I can make mad money.
So confident.
He's like, I've measured them. They're well above the national average.
Crush some fruit.
Just stomping stuff.
So now that we got the serious stuff out.
Oh, yeah. All right, so our stupid usual intro. I'm Jeremy Futrell,
Matt McDougal.
and we're here with...
Nikita Marzano.
Yay! Guys, we have another guest finally. So, Nikita, what would your bio tagline be if anyone hasn't heard of you or doesn't know who you are?
She's a brick house. I mean, that's like a
That's going to be the
song I love.
subtitle of this episode. We found it early.
Yeah.
Nikita, a brick house. I
Yeah.
love it. So, I guess the more formal version is a elite level women's thrower, right? Mm-hmm. Strongman competitor too, once in a while, kind of, sort of.
Twice for
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, we all do it for funsies.
Powerlifting.
That's right.
What else have I done? Moss wrestling.
Yeah, man, there are a lot of similarities. Patty, have you ever moss wrestled? We need to get you doing that.
Technically once in Norway.
Okay, then yeah, this room is very similar.
Once in Norway.
Yeah.
Oh.
Matt and I really talked ours up to make it sound way cooler than it was.
Mine was at the Arnold's.
Yeah, same here.
Nikita was supposed to go to Poland with me, and I was
Yes.
so excited because I didn't know anyone else that was going, and then she
No,
backed out at the
I
last
backed
minute.
I went to Poland.
For Moss Wrestling.
Yeah, for Moss
Have
wrestling.
do you even listen to the podcast?
All because of
Yes.
Chad Clark.
Sure.
All because of Chad Clark.
Yeah, shout out Chad Clark,
Yep.
who we're going to try and pressure into coming on to the podcast before this weekend
He's
is over.
nervous.
Oh, is he? He'll be
He's so
fine.
nervous.
He'll be great.
We'll mellow him out
Yeah.
some
Give him
kind
a
of way.
future.
We won't ride
Give him a few something. No. We're gonna lull him into a sense of security, start recording, and then ambush him.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah. So what we usually do is like, what was your entrance into like strength sports in general? How did that start? Did it start off with Highland Games and throwing, or did it start somewhere else and evolve into this ridiculous fucking sport?
Cool question. So I've been an athlete all my life. I was really big into basketball when I was younger, but then I had some leg injuries happen. Started doing indoor track just because they had us lifting a little bit more because I was going to do throwing, obviously not running. And from that, I got really into it. My throws coach was really great, and this was in high school.
Where'd you grow up? What area of?
Hatfield, Pennsylvania. So that's
Okay.
Montgomery County, right outside of Philadelphia.
Cool.
And my throws coach was someone I really admired. He was he actually did bodybuilding. He was older, but he like would show us pictures. He did like
Wait, this man showed high school girls pictures of him in bodybuilding competitions?
Yes. He was kind of a funny dude. No, not creepy.
I'm sure he was funny.
So, but he was very great in the weight room. Like he knew what
Okay.
he was doing. He got all of us on great like lifting schedules.
Yeah, it was real
And-
hands on.
Shut up. Shame. But he saw potential in me to throw an outdoor.
Okay.
And at this point in time, I was like 5 years into lacrosse, like serious lacrosse player.
Is there a difference? Because this is my ignorance, because I'm the only person in this room who never threw official track and field. What is the difference event-wise between indoor and outdoor? I know there's indoor weight throws, right? Like, isn't that a thing?
Depends where you're at.
Okay.
For me, where I was at for high school, all we could do in indoor was shot put.
Okay.
But in college, I got to do indoor weight throw.
Cool.
Same in Virginia. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It all depends where you're
so
at.
I don't know, man. I just started throwing in the Highland Games in my 20s, so I don't know
Yeah.
what...
We would still throw disc indoors, but just because we had nets to throw into, but we didn't actually compete in it. It wasn't a pointed event.
Told them, why are you bringing it up? Let's
I
go.
was just saying.
Yeah,
Gosh.
shut the fuck up. I like to pose in my mirror. It doesn't make me a bodybuilder. Yeah. Look, there has to be conflict for this whole thing to work.
So, yeah, I got into that, and my lacrosse coach kind of caught wind that my throws coach was telling me I would be decent at throwing an outdoor, which included discus and javelin and these other events.
Okay.
And She wasn't too thrilled, and she confronted him and told him that I would never be be good at anything other than lacrosse. She was a younger teacher, a younger coach. She was probably in her mid-20s.
Okay.
So she was a little bit closer in age to me. But I just really didn't like what she had to say. So I chose not to do lacrosse that year, and I did outdoor track. And then I ended up getting recruited. Went to Widener University in Chester, PA, and I threw for 4 years there.
Cool. What event did you throw specific events in college, how did that?
I threw all 4 events in
Okay.
outdoor, which was interesting because my mobility went down the drain when I started lifting heavier.
Mm-hmm.
So javelin was kind of no, just try to get all this, try to get some points.
Get out
and
there.
I usually did get some points somewhere.
Some guy just got a record for throwing it all of 2 feet. So,
Yeah.
you do whatever you got to do.
But indoor, I would do shot and weight throw, and then outdoor I would do shot put, discus, hammer, and jab.
Okay. Do you have a favorite out of those?
I really liked hammer throw, and I would love to throw that again. I haven't thrown it in so long.
Oh, that's exciting. I mean, other than Scottish hammer, but yeah,
I know,
sure. It's
a
not the
little
same.
A little different.
It's not the same. Says the guy that's never thrown a wire hammer a day in his life.
I mean, you can still compete unattached.
I know. Yeah, you can.
Yeah. I don't know. I threw a 5-pound weight plate the other day, so I'm officially a discus thrower. Screw you guys. Well, sweet. Then how did that transform? How'd you get into the Highland Games? Was it one to the other? Or was there a break? What
there
happened?
was a break. I graduated college. I was lifting at Iron Sport Gym in Glen Olden, which is run by Steve Pulcinella. If you don't know,
I've heard of that guy.
I'd be surprised.
He's all right.
Yeah, he's okay.
I've never actually met him.
He is a character.
I'm just at 1 degree of separation. Didn't he run the competition we almost went and did? Yeah, we had another thing going on, but we were going to go.
Oh, that's a shame. If you gotta check out Iron Sport too.
Yeah, we just wanted to do the dildo comp. That was our whole goal.
But
Okay.
he got me into it.
Okay.
He broke me down. I was doing powerlifting, and I got really burnt out from powerlifting.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept hassling me, you need to do Highland Games. You need to do Highland Games. And then finally, I said, okay.
Okay. How was your how long was your powerlifting career, quote unquote?
Probably 2.5 years.
Yeah. Deadlifting your favorite one?
Yeah, of course.
If I had to guess, because it's the only thing I've ever seen videos of you doing. I think.
Yeah,
I think I've seen
that's
one squat video, and then the rest are all deadlifts.
Oh, that's the best lift.
Oh yeah.
What total did you get up to?
So I just did a powerlifting meet. I think my last one I did in 2019 for fun. I did 450 squat. I did 225 bench, and I think I got 515 in deadlift that day.
Okay, so 1,200-1,300 somewhere in there.
I guess.
Awesome.
But
Yeah,
I've deadlifted
probably be knocking on 1,200
530
pounds. Yeah.
in the gym.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So then Steve got you into the Highland Games, and then how did that feel for you? Because I feel like some people get into it and immediately love it. Some people get into it and it's a weird love-hate for a while, or what?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I just thought, especially coming from powerlifting,
Mm-hmm.
that community
That's super boring.
is boring, and they're not really that nice. I don't care what anyone has to say.
No.
They're not.
No, and even when you meet a nice person on meet day, it's like a weird experience. Because nice on meet day just means you rub chalk on my back. You don't
Yeah.
have a conversation. You don't
You don't hang out
Yeah.
afterwards. There's none of that.
There's no 8 hours in the pool.
No.
That's what that sport is missing.
I know. It is.
Stupid.
Idiots.
God.
But
God.
the camaraderie, the
Mhm.
camaraderie, really drew me into Highland Games, and I don't know, I fell in love with it.
Who was the crowd that you started? What year did you start throwing in the Highland Games?
2013.
2013. So, who was the main crew that you ended up
Oh,
associating with then? Because it was still in this region, right?
So my first games was actually up in Queechee.
I don't know
which
what that
in
is.
Vermont.
Okay.
It's a place in Vermont.
I was like, that could be on Mars. I've never heard of.
That game actually, I think it's back this year, but it
cool.
it stopped for a few years there. It's a small game up in Vermont. But I did most of my games down in this area.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people you see down here, Beauvais, John Collins, Heather McKenzie,
Yeah.
Haddock.
Tomato, potato.
But a lot of these the
Dave's
Mid-Atlantic.
daughter. It's fine. Okay. How did you do in your first game? What was that like? Just walk us through, if you can, how that went.
It went okay.
Yeah. Did you win?
I think I did.
Yeah. Fucking track and field
Which
people.
I think a lot of
God damn
people
it.
didn't like me.
Oh, a bunch of
they're
people
like,
won't. Yeah.
This chick just came in and she did this, and
Uh-huh.
I specifically remember there was like the caber, and I've never touched a caber.
Yeah.
So I was like, Steve, what should I do? He's like, just do this, and that's why I still to this day pick the caber up like a baby. That's what I do.
Fucking track and field
It's
people.
way easier.
Guess what? If you're strong enough to do it, it's the smarter option
Yes.
because you get it under control, and then once you have it under control, you slip your other hand under
If
it.
you could row 6 plates, it wouldn't be a problem.
Here's my thing. I don't think I don't do it. I just think I've always done the traditional pick, so I never bothered learning any other way.
Sure.
And so I'm very confident in
See, I
it.
was,
Like
under
I
was under the pressure. It was competition time. It was like just figure
Oh
it
no!
out.
See, I literally cut down a tree in my backyard and I practiced it for like months with the greenest fucking oak tree I could find,
that's
and I only did traditional picks because I'd never heard of another way to do it, and now I'm pretty decent at picking cabers. Like,
That's good.
I'd
But-
always overpick the shit out of them, so it's just like
so that if they end up super light, I still will. But honestly, at our games, if I figure that out on the first one, as long as I turn an 11 and a 12 on the next two, who gives a shit? Fine. So, all right, cool. So you went in and won. Did any of the events give you like a ton of trouble outside of? Well, I'm assuming you
Wob.
turned the caber once you. Yeah.
Wob.
Okay.
I mean, Wob is just a very particular event.
And everyone thinks it's not. They'll watch strongmen come in and throw like 16 feet, and they don't realize that they're actually doing it poorly.
Yes.
And they could be throwing 19
Just
if
because
they.
they're strong, they're just
Yeah,
making it
they're
up
doing a
for
weird squat hip thrusty thing that's not the most efficient way to throw it, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Wob still to this day. Just it's
Didn't
hit
you
or
go to
miss.
the record breakers for Wob?
I did.
What the?
I've thrown
I
Wob.
hate Wob.
I mean, I throw.
Did you have the
thrown it
record in that at
19
one point?
feet.
Yeah. No?
No.
Okay, we're gonna get to talking about records here in a little bit. I don't want
Oh God.
to. Yeah, nice thermostat number, by the way.
nice.
Nice.
Nailed it.
420 degrees in here, guys. No, I'm just kidding.
It's Patty's lightweight PR.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kill yourself.
You know,
You want to go pro next year and you can't hit 70? You should jump off a bridge.
Give me a bunker.
I'll give you a bunker if you shave your mustache down to just here. Yeah, we can make this happen. I have a pocket knife. It's pretty sharp.
With guest spot Jordan Patty.
Yeah, Jordan is here in the room, guys. I was going to try and edit most of his crap out, but it won't happen at a certain point.
He was supposed to sit in the corner and watch, but here we are.
He's bad at
I'm
taking
very
instructions.
good at that. I'm very good at that. I'm a little slow.
You're great at sitting in a corner and watching. But
Depends on the topic.
he's not dressed like Superman.
Mike's revision's a little out of whack.
It does. It's too light in here for Jordan.
I'm used to dark corners.
Yeah, he's used to way more dudes. This ratio's way off.
It's not good enough.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, God, that was horrible. You need to get the fuck out of this room, Jordan. You're gonna derail this whole thing. All right. So Wob gave you problems. Do you remember roughly like what you were throwing your first year in the games? And did it like do the stupidly high increase really quick thing once you got used to
Can you
throwing?
imagine that happening? It'd be crazy.
Be insane.
Oh, strange
Haley,
how
are you listening? This happens.
Strange how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, Wob was maybe like 14 feet.
Yeah. You hated it, but you threw the best of the day, but you hated
I
it.
hated it.
Yeah.
I think my lightweight was like 70 feet. Heavy was maybe like in the mid 30s. I don't know.
I'd love to throw 70 feet ever, much less in my first game. That'd be really nice. All right.
I don't know. Then it just kind of plateaued. Like, I got better, and then
Mm-hmm.
it just plateaued. So it's, I don't know.
All right. So we'll. Then what's your favorite event now? Like what? What are you most excited to throw?
Always sheaf.
Sheaf?
Usually sheaf.
Okay.
I like sheaf a lot.
Sheaf is fun. Everyone loves sheaf, right, Chad Clark?
Sheaf.
Everyone
Have
loves
sheaf.
sheaf. We have the world sheaf champion in the room
We
too.
do. The IHGF.
Who
The
hasn't won
IHGF.
sheep at his last 2 comps? In fact, he lost to me.
And, you know,
I didn't say he was the best sheaf thrower in the room. I just said he was the champ.
sometimes
different.
this line of work, you just got to deal with it.
Yeah, we got to go to one of the 18 federations and win a world championship.
Just throw a dart.
Yeah.
Throw
I
a
don't think you
dart.
can say this line of work if you're not one of them.
Yeah, you're not getting paid, bud.
This is true, I don't get paid. But
We're still AMs.
You
in
civilian.
this line of hobby,
You haven't gotten paid yet.
That's true.
but I am a world champion, so
Yeah.
Ooh, whoa.
Get wrecked. You can go to Poland.
No, I didn't. The land of my ancestors.
Yeah. Which side? No, anyway. Anyway. All right, so Sheaf is your favorite. Let's break down your PRs across events for everyone. Like what on your best days, what have you thrown?
Okay, lob was 19 feet.
Okay. Mid.
Open stone probably like 43, 44 feet.
Was that what the really nice, like pretty stone?
A nice,
that,
good
yeah.
stone, like the ones that you don't get that often, if
Yeah.
at all. Braemar probably like 35, 36 feet.
Okay.
Let's see. Lightweight, I threw. This was in Pleasanton. I threw. Was it 90 feet? I think it was back in 2019.
Pretty sure it was over 90. Yeah. It might have been 90 and change,
yeah,
but
it might have been like 90.
it was in low 90s, guys.
That was a huge PR though. That was like
Yeah.
a 10-foot PR or something stupid.
I remember getting a video of that at some point when it happened. Either someone
Yeah.
sent it to me or you posted it
And
or
that's still
something.
the field record there, I think.
I'm sure it is.
Um,
There aren't a ton of people throwing 90.
that weight was awesome.
It's
had
happening-
it had an Olympic hammer handle on it.
Nice.
Oh.
Which I was like, that was the best, and then it broke the following year.
Are we doing that for our comp?
Yeah, we already
You
ordered
should.
them.
It's the
They're
best.
so thin, though.
That's
I
the
know.
point.
I know. Yeah, it's great when you
the
throw.
balls in orbit too. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's great when you throw with a glove.
Yeah.
Some of us are men and don't throw with gloves.
Some of us
I'm
throw
worried about my
ratings.
whittle hands. By whittle hands, I mean my very large hands. Anyway,
Heavyweight, I think 46 feet is my PR.
okay.
What do I have left here? I mean, caper
Hammers.
obviously
Hammers.
is what it is.
Yeah.
Light hammer, I've thrown like 100 feet.
Okay.
Heavy hammer, I want to say I've thrown like high 70s, maybe 80 feet.
Okay. Sweet. How would you say that ranks up as far as against the rest of like the elite women's class? So something we have had a lot of off-air discussions about, but we don't know that much about is the women's class because there just aren't as many of you guys. So it becomes very hard to look at a database and figure out what's going on just because the numbers end up all over the place. Because you'll have like the U's and the Emilys of the world at this end, but then it seems like the bulk is like significantly in a different part of the bell curve, and then there's another like it's very weird if you were to chart it out.
Yeah, so I just like use 2019 as my prime example because that was when I would like to say at my peak.
Yeah.
Those
Same.
numbers were definitely like I think I was in top 5,
Yeah.
easy, and
For
that's
sure.
with like the Megan McKee, Emily,
Is it Alyssa and some other?
Alyssa. Oh my god, it's so bad. I just blank on everyone's name. I haven't seen everyone. in so
Well, I
long.
also only ever see because like elite classes, at least in Virginia, I don't know what they're doing in the rest of the world. Have only really become a thing probably since like 19-ish, right? Chad started pushing for them, and then Massa started doing some stuff as well.
I'm gonna say like 17, 18 is when they started to really start to do things
Okay.
for the women.
See, I didn't come
And-
into the sport till 18, so I'm just saying I didn't see a lot of it my first year. Then it started to pick up and gain momentum, and then COVID.
Yeah,
And
it was
then-
great. It was great.
Yeah, it was literally like we were on the cusp of so many things changing positively in the sport.
That
and then
was
COVID
crazy
happened.
because that year at the Arnold, so 2020 at the Arnold, were you there? That the COVID Arnold was just like the most bizarre.
I heard it was a trippy experience.
and coolest thing I've ever been a part of because we got to actually watch.
And everyone there was an athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got to appreciate each other
Yeah.
doing the sport that you were competing in. And I never got to see people compete before because there'd be so many spectators.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not
you
gonna
can't see
bother
anything
doing
else
that.
that's going on. Yeah,
So that was pretty neat.
cool. So let's get off of it briefly because you did do some rogue record breaker stuff
I did.
at an Arnold or two, right?
Yeah.
How did that go over? We'll get back to Highland Games, but I just want to touch on like all the little highlights.
So the one year I just did the weight for height.
Mm-hmm.
It was me, Olivia, and Denise. None of us got it, but it was rough
Yeah.
because
What was the record y'all were trying to break?
we were just trying to throw. I think like 19 feet.
Okay.
I think that was it, just on stage.
Was that the same year that Half Thor set the record?
Yes.
Okay,
He and
I thought
Spencer
so,
were going
yeah.
back and forth.
Yeah, with like
trying to hit it.
19-1 and then 20 and then yeah, it was a
But Hathor makes it look like it's nothing.
stupid
'cause
fucking.
he's
And he
super
throws
strong.
it. He throws it goddamn like an
Yeah.
idiot. It's all shoulder, but if my shoulder was the size of a beach ball,
Yeah.
It'd probably go really high too.
But what people don't know is that there's not really a warm-up space. So it was like...
I never gave that any thought.
Here's a sandbag, and behind this curtain in the back that you kind of get the toss up, but tossing the sandbag is not the same as tossing.
No, 100% not.
And then it's
I
like,
never
okay.
threw one till y'all's comp the other day when I was judging it, and I fucked around with it, and it's crazy different.
Yeah, and then they're like, okay, get on stage and throw your wob. So
We're starting at 18.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. And that might have been the height we started at, and none of us got it because we were just like all
Flustered.
That was us this year for the Danny Stones. They're like, here's 2 loading pins. We don't have the right handles. Someone did that was competing, but you have 2 loading pins. You don't have handles for them, and you have 400 pounds of plates. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Great.
Sweet, so we're going to make a 300-pound jump here in a minute?
Right.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
That'll work out well. Man, it'd be a shame if that was run by athletes and things, but
It's
whatever.
an experience. Like, it really is. Like, people don't realize what it's like.
So I've never even been to an Arnold, much less competed at one. And for a long time, it was a goal, and then now it just seems weird. Like, it just seems like it would be odd. I don't know.
What, like throwing inside?
Yeah, throwing a 5-event game inside, and I think the 2019, like prior to COVID, was really the peak of it, and it looked super cool. When I've seen it in the years past, like very recently, it just looks weird. It looks different. It doesn't.
It's like a shame because it depends what time of day you're throwing and what day you're actually throwing.
But for me to like take time off of work potentially and drive that
Spend
far,
Spend
all that
$1,000.
money.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, do I want to gamble on it being either a super cool experience or a mediocre
Or
experience?
just
you
to
know?
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, or a game where I don't throw implements I usually throw in a space I don't usually throw and then be mediocre. Like what?
Yeah. And you might shank and hit someone, and it's a
Oh, I don't give a shit about that. You came over and stood here. You knew the risk. I don't give a shit about you or your baby. Fuck them kids. Never thrown a hammer through a baby carriage, so it could be worse.
Extra 20 points.
Yeah, hell yeah. If the baby catches it, they get crowned.
If they don't, they get scalped.
Exactly. All right, sweet. So, we want to know, as a female that's been competing in this sport, what is good, what is bad about the women's classes? Like, is there anything... Because we have opinions as outsiders, but that's all they are, is opinions as outsiders. Like, I can look at it anecdotally and say, this seems weird. And I can start you off with some stuff, and we can just get
Sure,
your...
yeah.
Cool. The weights.
Okay,
Are they
well,
weighted correctly, would you say?
What do you mean?
Like, should they be heavier? Because I feel like more and more as the sport grows and we get a depth of talent, it appears that you have women that just start throwing the lightweight 90 feet pretty quickly.
So-
and things like that are happening where they're not happening on scale in the men's class that's already, quote-unquote, deeper talent-wise.
Well, this is what I'll have to say. And this all
Yeah.
comes back to not having a designated, like, professional women's class.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as you all know, when you're designated as a professional man, and I'm using quotations
Yeah,
here,
yeah, yeah.
because we all know it's like, oh, I'm a pro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
fuck you, Matt.
Everyone's still got to work a full-time job at the end of the day. So, you guys do those things?
Yeah.
But being a full-time, pro male athlete, you can't compete in like these open amateur competitions anymore.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, an elite woman,
Can-
I can compete wherever I want.
Yeah.
With whoever
There's-
I want. I mean, all right, I'll go against people that are throwing 15, 20 feet less than me and crush them.
Yeah.
Knowing I'm going to come in there that day and crush them. And I don't have to be paid. I can show up wherever. I can do whatever. So and I actually brought this point about having women that are competing in masters classes, also competing in open. Don't think that's appropriate if you want to establish a real professional elite women's class.
Or if people sign up and throw a master's game and then say, hey, I'm going to go for this record for the open class, or vice versa.
Yeah.
You
can't.
Your scores count for whatever you signed up for, even if we're not going to...
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that happen a time or two where people have been like, oh, I'm going to take a shot at this because it's this record. It's not the class you're competing in that
exactly.
day. That's the one thing powerlifting has right. If I signed up for the 220 raw class versus the classic raw class, whatever I do that day is going to count for only that.
Yep.
Like, even if I did it without wraps, if I outsquatted the guy in wraps, guess what? The guy in wraps won his division because that's what they signed up to compete in that day.
Unless you pay double.
Now,
Yeah,
then that's fine.
unless
But there's
you
a
pay
system
for it.
for it.
Yeah.
There is a clear delineation for, I'm signing up for push-pull and full power, and I want my numbers to count for both.
Because
everyone has agreed that there is a rule book of we're doing this, and this is what's going
and
to
this
count
is part of
and
the problem
happen.
with like NASCA. We have some ladies that are competing in Masters and competing in Open still.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, in Masters women, you get to like the heavyweights are 7 pounds later.
Yeah.
Bob 7 pounds later. So it's like those scores that they're getting.
The ratings are inflated. Yeah.
They look inflated.
That is, NASCA
So-
is I didn't realize this until we had 2 female athletes that started training with us often, and I tried to go into NASCA because we have spreadsheets of all of our shit to try and figure out what we need to hit, what our goals are, yada yada. Trying to figure that out for women or lightweight women or any of that is a fucking mess. They don't even have drop-down tabs for some of the classes. They end up throwing them.
It's like
it's
open
lightweight
women.
C is
Yeah.
actually open lightweight women, and no one knows how to change the name of that tab into a. We just call them lightweight C's when it doesn't even say women lightweight C. It just says lightweight C. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. We've got, so what I was talking about specifically though was like, should it be, what is it, 28 and
It's
16? Or what's your
14.
lightweight?
It's 28 and 14 right now.
Is that appropriate? Because I feel like we keep getting really strong women in here. And so if that continues
there's no
happening.
reason why but they'd have to establish a
Yeah.
concrete class of professional women.
Now, would
Like,
you then make the weights different for pro women than open women?
That's what I think that should happen. Why
Okay.
not? I mean, they
No.
kind of have it.
Our sport is made up. There is no reason
I know
why
there's
not.
no reason why not. You can do whatever.
There's
you
no
want.
reason why this fucker shouldn't throw a 64 tomorrow instead of a 56.
Or the fact that the pro.
I'm fine with that.
The pro men throw.
It'll
a
make us look
20-pound
better.
sheaf.
Right.
The AMs throw a 16.
Unless you're at some games, and then they do have the AMs throw 20.
Yeah, they're
because
like,
they know they have a bunch of
whatever.
27 plus throwers, and they don't. Their standards go to 30.
Yeah, they
Like-
only throw 10 feet.
Yeah, none of it makes any sense. So would that solve most of, without getting into all of the potential issues of the women's class, would unifying it under something like solve a lot of that for you if everyone could get together and agree on something?
I think so.
Would that? Yeah.
I think it needs to happen. I mean, we want to be taken more seriously, but then it's like we have these like discrepancies of people doing this and then doing that and then doing this. You can't keep going
And it's
back
in
and
the-
forth. We just had some people that like to still compete in open women, which is fine because you can do that right now.
Yeah.
Go compete in Masters championships in Switzerland. So it's like.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Come on, man! Like I can't go do that.
So there's-
how is that fair?
Right,
I'm
so
not included in that.
I think the flip side of the coin, and I don't agree with this, but I think what they're saying is it's in the name of growing the sport, right? They're saying, well, we need more women involved, period, so let's just kind of...
That's great, but
Make
you
it
can't water down records and you can't water down
Yes.
like, the distance.
Because here's the
throw.
thing, you're growing it at what cost?
Yes.
Do
And
we
that's
want...
with any sport, anywhere.
Because by inviting more, be it mediocrity or lax or whatever term you want to apply to any of it, that's all you're growing. If you want to actually grow good athletes, you need to prioritize good athletes and give them a space to shine in, as opposed to just letting people run rampant. I'll let Matt talk for a while. You haven't talked any of this fucking episode,
let me say
bud.
Go
this.
ahead, yeah.
At the end of the day, we are performers. Like
Yeah.
we are paid performers, so we need to put on a show for the people watching.
We
at the
do, but
festivals.
everyone talks about growing the sport, and we'll never grow past this point
Yes.
if we don't do a little more.
I
Just
know,
a
but
little more.
and I agreed, but at the end of the day, like we don't have to be the best in the world,
No.
but there has to be a little bit.
There's gotta be some
keep
sort of
people
structure.
interested.
Even in World Strongest Man as a competition is entertainment. If you want to see good strongman, you go to another show.
Right.
If you actually know any,
Right.
yeah, you go to the Arnold's or the Shaw Classic
Yeah.
or something where people
Yeah.
are actually doing quota.
Road
There,
shows,
there are
yeah.
events at World Strongest Man that if you know anything about strongman events, they're not actually that impressive. They just look good on TV,
Yeah.
and that's why they're doing them. So, but there needs to be a balance, and at least at that, they have delineations of how to get to World's Strongest Man, even though it is an entertainment product now. There's a clear pathway to get there. There's a barrier of entry of some kind. Like,
It is back to what you were saying about the master's classes. It's especially frustrating as someone that is either on the cusp of being a pro
You
and
get
then is
bumped
making
out.
the transition, where there are guys that are throwing that were good in 2011, but they're not anymore. And when the top 10 amateurs on NASCAR right now would beat the 15th and down on the pro list, it's like, well, the top 25, half of them are amateur. So
Yeah.
why are we still having guys that are throwing 1,000+ points worse than the 10th place amateur. Why are those guys getting invites to games that you have plenty of young guys that would fucking kill to go and throw in those, right?
And that's even just looking at their NASCA points, much less if you looked at what they actually did at game to game.
Right.
It'd be even worse.
Yeah, their game-to-game average is incredible, whereas the game-to-game average of a Masters athlete is often not great. They'll kind of peak for individual events as they're trying to qualify for things or go to these world championship, air quote, competitions.
Yeah. I agree. I think we all agree that watering down the sport is not the correct way to do it. I think you can make it approachable and get more people into it.
Absolutely.
Without making it less viable as a sport. Or what you can do is keep doing what they've been doing at the detriment of keeping and getting good people in the sport. And then you're just going to have a bunch of cosplayers that run around and throw 20-foot open stones all day. And if that's what you want, that's what you'll get. That's fine. Yeah. But I'm going to go do something else. Like,
I've had plenty of collegiate friends that are, 67-foot shot putters and 200-foot discus throwers that have said, no, that looks funny. Like, I don't like the way it's set up. I'm not going to throw.
Oh, if every really good collegiate thrower came to do Highland Games,
would be
that would be the top tier athlete.
I'd be no one. I would be nothing.
Team came over.
Yeah.
I would die. I'd win Caber. That's it.
We'd all be in the top
for
10.
games.
A great person, like, talk about track and field athlete, Jessica Bridenthal. She's a great track and field athlete, and that just carried her right over. Same with Megan McKee.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's a reason why this jackalope went pro in his third year. It's because he had 15 years of experience throwing other stuff.
Yeah. Can't tell me it doesn't correlate. It
100% does.
I didn't have to learn half the event.
Well, literally, even throwing anything. Look at Beach was a pitcher for a long time? And even Nick Aston just threw jav for the majority of his time.
Yep.
Shit translates. If you were an athlete that applied force to an object that left your hand competitively,
rotational
you're going to have an easier time. Like, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And I hate it. No. Fuck all of you. Football players carry over okay, but not that great.
That takes some work.
That's what I was saying.
We're all right.
Your hips are dog shit.
Hey.
You're injured as hell, Patty. You're almost 10 years younger than me, and you're in horrible shape.
I got 1 degree internal rotation in my left hip.
That's all you need.
Degree.
Blocking like what?
Hey, you're talking to the Sheaf World Champion
of IHGF.
Watch yourself.
The only event that hips don't matter.
The one where you need no separation.
Yes.
That one. This is gonna devolve over and over again, but fuck it. No one listens to this.
All the others are so streamlined.
Yeah, we were really professional until this point. Let's see. Okay, so then, like, if you could wave a little magic wand and set barriers for classes and all that, how would you structure the women's class? Like, let's say you had a good amount of interest, like close to the same level of numbers of people competing as the men. You had 1,000 athletes in NASGA as opposed to 400 or whatever I think that's close to about what it ends up being, right? So let's say we double the women's class tomorrow, snap of a finger. How do we structure that to make it make sense? Like what?
I mean,
do you go by points? Do you go by games finishes? What do you?
I don't think we should do games finishes. I almost feel like it needs to be the distance in which you throw, and the points overall. Like when you get the points out of NASGA, because I feel like you could have somebody that may finish first all the time, but maybe they're only throwing like 25.
Oh, so there might be people. So there might be people that come to a game based solely on game wins that aren't that good.
Weird.
Imagine having a championship where 2 guys PR on Sheaf is 21 feet.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
We're not talking about me. I want to clarify that. I might be the worst sheaf thrower in this room, but it's not me. Still the tallest person in this room, goddammit.
Whatever.
That's all I got.
You make me feel small by a little.
I'll take it.
Just a hair.
Flatten your hair down.
Right.
Suck it. Okay, so let's say that we had enough women athletes to do a B, an A, and a pro, right? Mm-hmm. Which is a reasonable split. I like that system. I think Matt and I have talked about it. I think real world application, it's one of the better ways to break it down, right? So what would you draw out as your delineation marks for distance or however you would
being a pro woman? Well, yeah. I mean,
what in a perfect world, this is no commentary on any specific people. Unless you want to name names, I don't give a fuck. I'm not a pro. I'm not losing shit.
I mean, I haven't looked at because there's some newer girls that have been throwing.
Then disclaimer, this is you going off of your gut of just what you feel.
I mean, come on. Like,
rough numbers.
WOB would have to be like 17 feet.
Yeah.
For a pro woman. That's just my opinion.
Cool.
Lightweight for distance, probably like 75 minimum.
Totally reasonable. Yeah.
Heavyweight, probably like 41 minimum.
Okay.
Open stone, I would say at least a 40-foot minimum. Maybe 41. I'm just trying to
somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
Well, because you're going to have specialists.
There's not a lot of people that are pushing over 45, so that's why I'm like, I don't want to put it too far out.
Yeah, well, and you're going to have event specialists anyway. If someone's throwing a 140-foot light hammer,
someone's gonna
even if their stone is 39, you're still going to...
No one's touching Megan's hammers. Like, okay, see you later, Megan.
I'm going to go sit this event out. I'm going to save my back.
I'm just going to watch Megan throw over and over again.
Yeah.
Braemar, probably like, if it's a good heavy Braemar, probably like 34 feet.
Okay.
33, 34 feet. What am I missing? Hammers?
Sheaf?
Sheaf got to be at least 25 feet. At least.
I would say almost even higher. Like
I think I'm being generous with
Yeah.
that, and that's only because I keep thinking every time I do a competition, we start at like 12 feet. And it's like...
I'm going to go sit down and get cold.
Yeah.
Like... Especially like from your position, if you're going to go throw in an open class, good Lord, you do it at the end of the year. And
I mean, it happens with WOB too. I mean, that's why I think it would help having like this class. This is where you're going to start.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
like
why you should.
Pro women's class, we're starting at 15.
That's why you should have a C class. Like that is the whole reason. Oh, I've never gotten a WOB mark. Congrats. You're a C. You go throw 9 feet over there.
Yeah.
Like we're not.
It's rough when you're lumped in with everyone, and there's the people that they're like, well, they're new throwers. They've never.
And if you have 4 new throwers, congrats. You get to wait through 3 throws of every height on the way up there now, and it just it's.
You'll be there for a very long time.
I had a whole pitcher of beer before we finished Sheaf at Port before we even got to WOB.
Right.
Before I had to do anything.
Well, like,
Yeah.
Like Patty, where are you coming in tomorrow or on Sunday on Sheaf? 27, 30?
Probably 26, 27. Somewhere if it's doubles or triples.
Right. Like,
I'll come in at 20.
Least, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, but like 20 should be the minimum for, in my opinion, any, honestly, maybe even B games. You're throwing a 16-pound Sheaf. You should be able to throw it 20 feet. And if you no mark, be cool with no marking. Like it just
is what it is.
If you're in an AM game, it's not.
Towards too. So
I don't like the idea of a participation trophy of, it's their last game of the year and they haven't gotten a mark, so we're going to open it 11 feet. How about we don't?
It takes a lot. It's like you got to think about the people that set up the games, that work hard all day long.
It's back to watering it down for what value? Like,
yeah, it just lengthens everyone's day.
It is a competition. If you're here for the history, there's a clan tent over there. You can go spend your day with those guys, and that's totally fine if that's the reason you show up to these things. But not on the athletic field. You should be able to do something athletic. I'm not gonna go put my cat in the sheep herding fucking competition because it's a cat. That's not how this works. Like,
I'm gonna come in tomorrow and open up WOB at like 14 feet.
Yeah.
I'm rusty as hell.
Yeah, how has your side note? How's your throwing been? Because I haven't seen you in forever, and like I had my own weird year of being off, so I didn't see a lot of people.
I haven't really been throwing at all. I haven't really been lifting anymore. I actually do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
I feel like
so that's
what happened with this wave of everyone doing Jiu-Jitsu after Highland Games? It really did.
Yeah. It really did, but it's really awesome, and it's a lot of
It's
fun.
super. I did it years ago. I did before it was cool. No, not for very long. I did like a couple of the no-gi things, and it's fun.
Yeah, it's great exercise.
That's
all I know.
Yeah, you end up sweaty, and you get to hurt people. You choke them out. It's a lot of cool stuff.
Hey, just go to sleep.
Sweaty,
Yeah.
Choking.
Yeah,
Just go to sleep.
surprise naps. Aggressive hugs. Jiu-jitsu guys be like, come down here, bro. Have you seen all the videos of Derek Lewis where he's like, what is a guard? Just stand up. Jiu-jitsu's not real.
And it's like, oh, okay.
No, you go watch him. Derek Lewis just stands up. He's fighting UFC dudes, and when they get him down there, he just goes, fuck it. And he just plants an arm and just stands up, and they have to fall off of him because they don't know what to do. It's pretty funny to watch. He just realizes he can't get out. He's like, I'll just stand up then.
Yep.
If it's in your toolbox. Cool. So you're rusty. You haven't been doing a lot. I love it.
This is going to be a fun few weeks. So I got this game. I'm going to throw in Lancaster, PA next weekend.
Sweet.
And then I'm going to be up at Loon.
Loon. Is that your schedule for the rest of the year?
Probably.
No
I didn't
Radford,
plan-
no
I
Richmond.
didn't plan anything for October.
A couple of really cool guys have some sweet games October 21st.
Oh, yeah?
It's true.
Yeah, we do. Come on.
Where at?
Rockville, Virginia.
Okay.
Come
Well,
on.
I'll think about it.
You should. Be super cool. You know the ADs.
Oh.
You'd probably win. Poor Nina. We're never going to let her win a game. Yeah, no, it will be super fun though. And it's at a fall festival. There's gonna be a pumpkin patch and corn maces and all that.
That's cute. Okay.
Yeah.
I
We're
mean, I'll
gonna
think
throw
about
pumpkins.
You
it. We're
should.
gonna throw a pumpkin.
That's so we're debating either throwing real pumpkins or we're gonna make concrete molds out of like the jack-o'-lantern things that you can buy at like the dollar store and just throw those as like a bonus event. It'll be fun.
Throw the real pumpkins.
I actually think with the concrete mold ones, I could put a shackle in it,
And we
actually
could-
do a pumpkin weight for distance. Like,
It'd be cool. Do it as a little thing. Yeah. I don't know, we can make it happen. How much does it weigh? I don't fucking know. It weighs as much as a concrete pumpkin. I don't. Yeah. Stop being a bitch.
Just throw it.
Yeah. Maybe just fucking do it.
yeah,
Yeah, we could totally. I didn't even think of that. That's a good idea. All right,
I'm
we're
good at it sometimes.
He's like,
back on track. Fucking.
The blind squirrel has found the nut.
Yeah, that was Matt's good idea for the day, guys.
Brain back off.
Shame you couldn't do that earlier in our business meeting about the game. No, I'm just kidding. We had a good meeting. It was fine. Cool. So let's see. What else was there? We've only been talking for 40 minutes. This is really light for us. We gotta fucking. What do you want to talk about? How about that? What
what do I want to talk about? I don't know.
it's literally anything. You got a
What's
thing,
your
Matt?
favorite food? If you could eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would
Look, this is why Patty's here. Look at that filler content.
I love tacos.
This is the biggest smile we've had all night.
It has.
In fact, I went to a taco place tonight and got tacos. I could
Nice.
eat Mexican every night.
That's a good answer. Mexican is a
like, but good tacos. Just
well, yeah. If it's for the rest of your
cilantro
life
and
and you get to pick, it should be a good taco.
yeah. No, the
That's an
trash.
analogy for marriage.
I want gas station sushi for the
Yeah.
rest of my life.
And diarrhea.
He has Crohn's. He already has diarrhea for the rest of his life.
This toilet hates it.
It's not just look, the juice is real. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So the question we always ask is, if you could wave a magic wand,
I kind of already touched on it, but we're gonna
change
apply it
one thing in the sport.
like tomorrow. Bam! It's different.
Change something. Not better or worse. It could be publicity. It could be an event. It could be like perception. It could be like,
It could be the color of the grass. It's
Killing
whatever the fuck you want.
like-
It's a magic wand.
yeah.
I guess I wish more people knew about it.
Mm.
I
Okay.
really do. I think that would change the name of the sport a lot. Get more publicity and stuff for it.
That has ultimately been very on par with both of our answers
Yeah.
in talking about it, because I think however you go about accomplishing it, that's the end goal, right? Because
Yeah.
if more people knew about it, you'd have more money, you'd have more athletes, you'd have more venues, it would then spiral or waterfall, whatever metaphor you want to use, into fixing a whole lot of shit.
Yep. And you get those other athletes, those collegiate athletes that might be looking for something to do.
I need to get.
'Cause, like, I would have never
I need to
known
turn
about
pro
this if
before
I
we
never
get
met
more
Steve.
college people in here.
I didn't know about it until I got into strongman, and we had a slam ball throw event, and Chad Clark was the judge for it, and he was like, "Who are you? What have you done? What's your background?" And then he made
Yep.
me miles wrestle for 2 years, and
Yeah.
now here we are. So
Yeah. Chad's gotten so many people into
Right.
strength sports in general, but also the Highland
I
Games.
love
Like
Chad Clark so
he's
much.
he's fucking
such a great-
radagast, and he's amazing.
oh
He
yeah,
really is.
Hey, you never heard us make that metaphor? He's radagast.
Yeah.
He just sits in his woods and smokes pipe weed and talks to
Radagast
animals.
yeah.
Yeah. That's it, man. That's Chad to a T. All right, well then let's deep dive a little into tomorrow. How are you feeling? Like what do you
Who's your
What do you
teammate?
My teammate's Wes.
Oh, so who's Wes Kaiser? Never heard of him.
Yeah, Wes Kaiser.
I wonder which team will
buddy,
win.
Buddy.
Yeah. Are you guys feeling relatively confident? Oh, so this is let's talk about team events actually. Let's
Oh, this is the
backtrack.
best.
So-
I love team events. I think this is the coolest and one of the best things people have started to do with the
Sweet.
elite women and pro men.
Do you think it still has room to grow or change in how they apply it? Or did they nail it on the first try?
I mean, I think they've been doing pretty well. I think
Yeah.
it's also a little hard, depending on the funds that you have to pay to get some people here. You got to do the best that you can,
Yeah.
right? So, like, but regardless, I think the ones I've been a part of have been doing it right, and I just think it's a great crowd pleaser.
It is.
Put on a great show.
So is that like one of the best mediums, especially from the women's side, that you found as far as still being entertainment but still getting to do cool athletic pro level shit?
Yeah. I mean, I love it. You have a teammate you can like go back and forth with, shit talk the other teams with. Like, I think it was last year at Green Hill, me and who was I teammates with?
Not last year, because
Jonathan.
Green Hill didn't exist.
Was it 2 years
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was 2 years ago.
That's when I won.
Oh, okay.
Fuck you, I wasn't there. No,
I
I
was
would beat you.
teammates with
I won the
Jonathan.
last Green Hill.
Oh, that was my first game ever, was Green Hill.
That's such
And
a
now
good
it's
game.
gone.
Good
and
game.
It's coming back,
It's
but
coming
in
back.
a
It's
sense,
coming
yeah.
back. It's coming back. But I was teammates with Jonathan, and we did like buns.
That's right. Everyone had a
Yeah.
different hairstyle.
Yeah.
That was how we.
So I just think that's like a cute thing to do. I don't know. Draw
Yeah.
people in.
No, it's a good system. It's fun to watch.
It takes a little bit of the pressure off too, because we're just
because you can put it on Wes. No, I'm just kidding.
We're all on West. Thanks, West. Thanks, buddy. Great team. But it's just you're strictly entertainment for the crowd. Like
Yeah.
I'm not really worrying about my numbers that day. Like I'm just there to have.
No,
a
because
good
if
time.
you get to throw 3 or 4 fun little team games, like if you were going to put together a real hardcore season, doing 3 or 4 team games for fun to go do something cool isn't the end of the world. Like, it's neat.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to do it. I wish they did it at an AM level more often. I think that'd be fun. The only one I know of is Dave's backyard pillow talk games. And that makes it weird if you're not sleeping with the person you're competing with, because it's called the pillow talk games. And like, what are we doing here, Dave?
Pillow talking.
Right? It's just ASMR all day. Oh, I was supposed to talk quieter for this episode. I'm sorry.
That's
I didn't
all
do
right.
that.
It's okay.
Nikita's also loud. It's really your problem now.
Yeah.
You're the quiet one.
They're just going to say, oh, the AC was too loud. We can't hear Matt.
We can't. His voice doesn't convert. I've bought several different kinds of microphones and we've tried them all. It doesn't pick up.
Really?
Yeah, at
You're
all.
just so low.
Yeah.
It just hangs out down here and nothing happens.
Yep.
And
You need that mic like right.
no
here.
one's ever...
Literally,
We've tried it.
We've done it where the mic is here and he's in the kitchen and people can say, I know he walked away and I still heard his voice more. And it's like, okay, fuck me. That's fine. Like,
And then we did, but we did it off camera. No,
right, like, it sounds good in person. I don't know.
yeah. He smells nice sometimes.
Right. I have a radio voice on everything
Yeah,
other than radio.
if you guys are at VSG or ECC this weekend, come sniff Matt.
Yeah.
Sweet. This can be a short one. I'm cool with it.
That's
It gives me
fine.
less to edit.
It's true.
But I really just we look, we come off as talking a lot of shit about a lot of divisions, but we do it because we love the sport and we want it to grow.
Yeah.
And we don't have an honest way to get the opinion of a lot of female athletes because we're dudes.
Yeah.
In case that wasn't.
Oh, really? I couldn't
Apparent.
tell.
Yeah, we're all pantsless right now, guys. You can't prove we're not.
I still can't tell.
Yeah, it's. She has that thermostat so low.
It's like there is no tail.
Have you seen Don't Mess with the Zohan? So,
Yeah, the average length of hair in this room is pretty low. So,
and I'm skewing it hard.
right.
Yeah, so we wanted to get more female people on. We want to get more masters athletes on in like classes that we don't participate in to try and figure out, are we just the assholes?
Am I the asshole?
Yeah, am I? This whole
Well, I
podcast
think
is a social experiment in am I the
It's
asshole?
good. I mean, someone should. I think it's tough because I know I've had these conversations with a few ladies, but then it's also fearful of sitting down and having that conversation with some of the other ladies and knowing how people are going to react.
Yeah, like if screenshots got shared on social media or something crazy, wouldn't that just be weird?
Not even that. It's just blowback of like
Yeah.
some people have powers of like, hey, you competed at the games, you're not going to that games anymore.
It was,
And it's
yeah.
like, is that really worth the headache? Like, is it really
No.
worth the
Or
headache?
should we all just talk? Look, if someone can't tell when someone genuinely loves this sport and is just saying what they're saying because they want it to be better, fuck that person. I've never said anything on this podcast because I hated anyone or anything. Vegans. But we touched on that briefly the other day. But like it's because we all want it to be better and we want all of the athletes and we firmly believe, and I feel like you would agree, if you give the athletes the best thing, then the crowd by the action of doing that, de facto, that's the word I was looking for, will also have the best time. Like if you have a bunch of happy, kick-ass athletes at all your games,
Yeah.
you're going to have a better game.
Yeah.
Like, people are going to stand there and watch longer. They're going to talk about it more. Like,
They're going to come out and try it.
Yeah.
If it
they're
looks
gonna
fun.
wanna come out and try
Yeah,
it.
no one wants to do something that looks like they can do. That's boring. That's not fun. No one wants to do that. So it's, I don't know. I think some things need to be different. And unfortunately, we have to talk about it, or it'll keep happening the same way.
Yeah, and it'll change. It's just going to take time.
I
It's
know,
just
but
gonna
I'm
be like
so
the women's
impatient.
Class, even getting the women's to this elite status that they're getting now, finally. It's
Yeah.
like
the fact that it took
that's
until like
even-
2017 is wild.
I mean, yeah, when I started in 2013, I was kind of like, what's
And guess
going
what?
on here?
The
Like,
sooner you actually do it, the sooner you will have good athletes, be they track and field or strongman or whatever other class of good athletes. If there's money over here, some of them will start to show up.
Yeah.
And like then they'll fall in love with it and they'll just do it, but you got to have something to get them in the door. And if you're currently making a couple grand every other month going and placing in a strongman competition or whatever else, you're not going to come over here and try this.
No.
We're way more fun.
Way more fun.
We're so much more fun.
And honestly, it's not like, to me, it was never always about like walking away like I'm coming out in the positive with money. If I go someplace and they're covering my hotel and helping with my travel expenses, I was like, that's like 95% of the cost.
The only
that
reason-
is the issue for these games.
The only reason I ever want to go pro is to do my hobby for free.
Yeah.
I don't want to make
That's
money
it.
off of it. I just want to do my
That's
hobby
it.
for free because I love you. I love Matt. Jordan's okay. Like, fucking, you know? Like, I want to go see the people that I like and go do the things that are fun that I enjoy doing. And, like,
Yeah.
if someone paid for my hotel, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
That was part of the reason for me to decide to go pro this year.
Also, are you sharing a room with someone?
No.
I just thought of that. I was like, is someone going to come in and be very confused about whatever is happening
Right.
No.
over here?
Yeah.
No.
That was
Okay.
part of the reason for me to decide to. There are two big ones. One, I wanted to travel with them more, right? And if my hotel's comped, then their hotel is comped because we're
Yep.
in the same hotel room.
Yeah, we'll all
Right.
snuggle.
Yeah, it's fine. Me and Patty are touching right now. But like the more important one for me for going pro was like I wanted to be in the competitive class, right? Because I was tired of. Jeremy can attest to this. Going to games and
There's too
after
many
Cable was
wins.
over, I'd already won,
Yeah.
and it didn't matter what
You
happened. You know, like it was. I hate that.
Must
And
be
you
hard.
kind of lose the momentum to want to do better.
I-
like,
Yeah.
to PR, you're not going to PR at those games anymore
Yeah.
until
No.
you're with the higher class of athlete that's
No.
going to push you.
I'm trying not to talk about you going pro too much because I
Yeah.
want to save that for our other thing. But I'm not stopping you. I'm saying that I'm going to be quiet
Well,
because
wait, there's more.
no, actually, we can talk about it a bunch because I think in the order I have our episode coming out and then Nikita's. So
Oh,
fuck
really?
it, we'll talk about it. I'm
talk
so
about it.
excited for you to get out of this fucking class. I'm so tired
Someone
of
else
not.
can win. Someone else can win.
He's like,
The East
I
Coast
want
is
to
free.
Damn it!
It's like there's hope
Right.
for me yet.
I'll have the state.
Right. You know, they said winning the East Coast Championships really matters, but I've never been to it, and I was gonna go on Sunday, but then now I'm throwing pro the day before, so like
Does it matter?
it sure mattered for
Yeah.
me. So
And like, I really wanted to win VSG for a number of years, and it'd still be fun. But honestly, at this point, if I can just keep qualifying for ECCs, why would I throw a VSG the day before?
yeah,
There's no point. I thought it was really cool the history it had behind it, and the reason you get the prizes that you get if you win VSG is
Yeah.
like really neat.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a historian of the sport. I like the athletic side more than the history of it. I think there's a big delineation between those kinds of people. But at the same time, I was like, I don't need to anymore. Like, and VSG is kind of an easy game to show up and win because all the good people are thrown on Sunday.
I just wanted to start losing again.
Yeah.
Like I hated it.
Humble yourself.
I'd like to win a little more often. More than once or twice a year would be kind of
10
cool.
in a row.
I don't need to run train on the East Coast. I just
Oh.
would like to. Oh, it's. Do you
It's
know,
been
I did
big
everyone
shows.
here's paperwork for this, right? And so, like, I had to write out my game wins on the little sheet, right? Wrote my 2. And then I get to Patty's, and I write, like, what, 6 or 8, you know?
Whatever.
Over the years, like a reasonable list. And then I didn't have enough fucking room for him. I'm trying to write tinier. I'm making
I'm more
another
impressed that
line.
You actually did it because, like,
Yeah.
I never filled those things out.
Trying to keep. Look, he got a pro invite, and Alex is happy, all right? It's working out for
I
everyone.
know, that is the key. Make Alex
So,
happy.
You're fucking what? No, I'm just kidding.
I love-
You're
I
good
love
at throwing.
Alex.
It's not me. But look, all I can do is make people laugh. I can't throw that far yet. So trying to be really good looking and funny.
Right.
And I'm only doing one of those.
Yeah, your humor shit.
So, yeah, it's been fun. Anything else? Anything in life that you want to talk about? Like, I tell you what, you had a rather long, like, off season. Are you planning on like really diving back into throwing? Or are you not sure yet? Like, where does it stand priority wise for you
I'm
right
not
now?
sure yet. I actually really want to compete in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
So that's probably going to be my next thing I do.
Okay.
I really enjoy it.
I'm gonna tell Emily to take up jujitsu so you guys can
I
go.
will murder. I roll with pretty much grown-ass men all the time. So I don't get to roll with women that often.
Yeah.
So
But
it's a fun experience.
sweet.
Humbly.
All right. Cool.
Simple.
Good to know. Then that's.
Yeah.
You're not doing the women's world championship that's coming up. Is that this weekend? Then you're definitely not fucking doing it.
That's in Pleasanton this year.
Yeah. And it's happening like tomorrow, I think. So yeah, you're not
Yeah. No, not
Late
flying out to
call-up.
California tonight.
going. No. Oh,
Oh.
weird. Just yo-yo back. The time. Look, there's a time difference. You can make it up. You'll be fine.
Oh,
I'm sure
yeah.
there's a way we can time dilate this with a black hole. I'm sure.
The
I can
fuck are
talk
you
about
even
that,
talking-
but
You slaughter cows for a living. Shut up. Like, I don't-
I can talk about Pleasanton, but I would not want it recorded.
All right, we're going to go off air, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're just going to talk about really cool stuff.
Another real podcast.
Oh wait.
Real
Wait!
thing
I had a
to
fun
do.
noise for this one because you always get to do the fun noise. I can't. No, do your noise. It's fine.